morning. Because I'm in Canada, happy National Coffee Day. Love my coffee. Now, so much of life is spent anywhere but here. We spend so much time up in our heads thinking about the past, worrying about the future. We rehearse the future, plan what we're going to say, plan what we're going to do at whatever events that we're concerned about. And I call that borrowing trouble, because quite often, and more often than not, what you're worried about in the future never even comes to fruition. I know I've done it. I still do it. It's certainly a work in progress for me. I have laid awake worrying about finances, worried about my health and the health of folks around me, and worried about my family. My name's Annette Solent. Welcome to Carpe, Omnia after 60. And today's kind of a wrap-up video for this series I was writing about letting go. Now, I'd say it's the wrap-up, but even now I can think of other things that I'm going to do to be letting go of as I walk through my cluttered house. To get over to here, I'll be letting go of a lot of stuff as I purge through the winter. Owen will do it the same, and so we will be getting rid of stuff, and I'll probably do something around doing that. But for now, I was just planning on doing these videos for September, and well, today's the last day of September. And lately, I've been learning a lot from my two teachers. Now, my teachers are Jasmine. She pulls me into the joy of right now, because she's 9 and it's just right now that she's excited about that she's doing. And so I'm learning from her, and I'm learning to decrease my worries in the future by my friend Lavinia, who is at the far end of 88. And she shows that it does all work out, and it's not something to be afraid of. But does that not erase everything beforehand? And there was a happening in our family that does say there are not worrying about the future doesn't mean not planning and not doing and not dealing with stuff, because just putting your head in the sand and not dealing with things that will come in the future does nobody any good. Now, on this one, a member of our family, her work called the daughter-in-law to find out what happened to this lady because she didn't show up for work. So daughter-in-law ran to her house and found her unconscious in the house. Ambulance took her to the hospital. She's still in a coma, diabetic coma. Her numbers were, for most of yesterday, too high to even read. And it does look like she was in a coma for at least 3-4 hours before she was even found. So we don't know about brain damage and whatever else. Right now, I checked in and she is still not rousing. She's still in a coma. And part of the problems they were finding out was nobody knew where her paperwork was. Nobody knew if she had a personal directive. Nobody knew if she's dealt with powers of attorneys, because if she doesn't wake up, that's going to become an issue. Both things will become an issue. She might have dealt with all of this already, because she dealt with cancer a couple of years ago, so she might have done this paperwork, but nobody knows where it is. They reached out to her best friend. The best friend doesn't know anything about it. Now, one of the things Owen and I did was to do up our wills, do up our personal directives, do up our powers of attorney, should anything like this happen. And when you deal with the business of preparing, you can then lay down the worries for that kind of thing in the future. And I did a video about that a little while back. I'll have to figure out which one it was. But Owen and I are also, this winter, we have a few things to deal with, and we will be handling prepaid funerals. We will look over our wills, look over all our legal paperwork, just to make sure everything is squared away, so that when that time comes, because it will, the person who's left behind will have less to worry about because your mind gets scattered and you get very upset. And I know I watched my son and daughter try to handle their father's passing about 12 years ago. They didn't handle it well. They didn't want to handle anything. They gave power to a lady who still hasn't handled the executrix stuff, and it's been 12 years. So we're just making sure we get all those I's dotted, T's crossed in that area, just so we can drop that as a future worry for me. Now, worry is a sneaky thing. It steals from the present, drags us into the regrets of the past, and there's not a darn thing we can do about anything in the past. And borrowing trouble in the future, well, there's nothing we can really do other than preparing. To worry about it, to sit here in paralysis and worry, that doesn't do anything good either. That's called borrowing trouble. And really the only time we can deal with is right now and right here as to anything in life. I was watching some videos by John the New, and he says our past is just points in time back then. Every day is a day that you had to deal with in the present, and then you move on to the next one. And as it goes into the back, it's now a past memory. And in the future, it's just worrying for nothing. For me now, especially since I've retired, and I know it's a lot easier when you retire, but we do have a 9-year-old we're raising. But it's easier now to just live in the present, to lay down the past and the future. For me, parenting Jasmine day to day, caring for this homestead every day, walking alongside my friends like Lavinia and those that are 10, 20 years ahead of me, helps me for future concerns. And today is enough. Now, letting go of tomorrow's worries doesn't mean that pretending that challenges won't come, because of course they will. They always do. And one of the cool things about being our age is we've been through so much stuff. And we've come out and we've come through. We know that we can survive these things. It's one of the things we have going for us that young people don't. They don't know that they can survive and thrive through some of the toughest things in life. We've done it. So we know from our past experiences that we can get through this and we will be just fine. Thank you for walking with me through this Letting Go series. It's the finale for now, but I know life, and I know that there will be other things coming along, new lessons about release and freedom. So maybe we'll meet here again on another Letting Go. Until then, may you find joy in the present, because it's the only place peace really lives. Oh yeah. Happy coffee day. And so it begins, the season of letting go, when Mother Nature shows us all how it's done. Let go, free yourself, shake it off, drop it, give way for the new, create space for new thoughts, new ideas, new adventures, and new connections by shedding the dead weight you've been carrying around for so long. And whilst you're there, being reborn and renewed, let go of old anxieties too. Let go of any doubts, fears, or beliefs which no longer serve you well. Release bitterness or past hurts which feast on your beauty. Be brave. Don't fear the nakedness as your leaves slip away. Mother Nature doesn't. Watch and learn.